Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today we're going to be talking about selling a QVC. So if you have a great product and you want to be a QVC vendor, this training will give you some things to think about in regards to QVC. With that said, let's get started on today's training. So let's talk about being a QVC vendor. QVC is a channel that basically focuses on people buying stuff. And they have over 350 million households in 7 countries currently that are watching this show. That is crazy. That's a lot of opportunity there. And the reason I decided to create this particular training is that all of these types of things that I teach actually go back to retail. It's essentially just another way to sell a product on a massive scale, which will probably ultimately lead you back to chain stores, as it's an as seen on TV product. QVC now has stores, they have outlets, they have opportunities for you. And so that's why I'm talking about it. 350 million households in 7 countries. That's wild. Also, as of now, these things change all the time. So don't count me on this, but 8.1 million active customers. So that's a lot of opportunity there, right? So if they pick your product up and you can convince them to buy from you, it's a huge deal. So there's so much I can say about QVC, but I'll give you some quick tips and strategies today, and hopefully it'll help you get thinking. First of all, I have several clients who've seriously done so well on QVC that I had to create this. I had one client who had, I think it was something like 11 products get on QVC because he started with one through our trainings and then proceeded on. It was insane. And his story, I have a whole recording about it. Story was when they finally picked up his product and they did the show and there's a whole process around it. He sold so much stuff on their reruns. They didn't sometimes tell him, and then all of a sudden he would get like endless orders. It was the most joyous time of his life. So it's a good deal. The problem with QVC is that so many eyeballs, so many people, they're not playing around with people who don't have their manufacturing set up, obviously, but also have a lot of units in stock because they're selling the product on the spot. Now that requires you to have inventory, and that requires you to take risks, right? Because the product doesn't sell and you have a lot of inventory. They could try to help you out with their websites, but ultimately there may be a chance that you're going to be liable for it, which is why you hear those horror stories where sometimes things don't work out. There's even a movie around that, Joy, where I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a movie called Joy, and she creates a product and thing doesn't sell. And it's a disaster, and in the end, there's a good ending, hopefully, for you guys. But ultimately, it was known by a lot of people that if the product doesn't sell and you have all the stuff in stock, it can backfire and traumatize you. So you just need to make sure that you can afford this, but the opportunities are limitless if the product sells. So they have a viewership of women. And by the way, I'm not trying to scare you. What I'm trying to tell you is it's not for the beginner who's got no money or very little money or scared or whatever. It's for the big dogs, although they are looking for new products, but it is something that you have to just be aware of. So there's some things that I wanted to share with you. Their age range of people who buy stuff is typically women, older, much older, 40 to 70-ish range. That changes. I've heard a little less, a little more. But the essence is that's the target audience who's typically buying for themselves or their family members. They buy gifts and stuff. If you go take a look at what they do, they have so many different products that they sell now. Fashion, beauty, jewelry, shoes, bags, home electronics, kitchen stuff, food and wine, health and fitness. The top categories are listed on their website. So I would definitely go explore to see if your product could fit there. That's number one. And also look for similar products to yours and see whether or not your similar product is converting, because maybe they're on their website, but it doesn't sell, or it's not doing that great. If it's doing really, you're excited because maybe the buyer is looking for another version of an existing product they're already selling. So you got to do a little recon work and see what's going on with that stuff and see whether or not your category is even there. And don't presume, right? That's number one. Again, women is number two. You got to make sure that fits that audience, or for women's kids or women's family members, stuff like that. But generally, that's the audience, and they are very serious about that. The other thing is that you are going to need to figure out who's going to be on the show if this actually happens. And again, I have a whole program on how to sell at HSN QVC, but I'm trying to give you like good nuggets here to help you out. When you go on QVC, just remember that somebody needs to talk about the product. It could be you, it could be somebody else. If you're not that awesome on video, some of us, trust me, I've been doing videos for 15 years. I still hate it to this day, but I do it because it's required of me for the business and I've gotten used to it. It takes time to feel comfortable being in front of the camera. And I assure you, I'm a sociable person and I don't even like it. So it's not a deficit. It's a unique thing. And you don't want to mess up. So just make sure that if you are the perfect person to talk about your product, you should be that person. Otherwise, there is help and there's third parties who will go in and do that segment. But just be sure that they're magical. Do a lot of recon work on them. And don't worry, if QVC picks up your product, they'll tell you who their favorites are and who they think could help you along the way as well. So there's a whole world around that. So that's something to think about. Are you going to flip out on TV? If not, make sure you do this correctly. The other thing is, I think they give you like a minute or something to sell X number of units on their TV show if they test you out. That needs to be like a crazy volume of products. And so they'll test first. And then if it converts, then they'll sell a lot more for you. But be aware that you're going to know pretty quick once they launch you whether or not they're going to proceed with your product. And so, again, best foot forward. When you are reaching out to these QVC buyers, be aware that QVC and HSN are now part of the same company. So the opportunity is so much bigger. Before it was QVC separate from HSN. Now they're actually under the same umbrella, different channels. Big deal. It could mean more opportunity for you elsewhere. So that's the other thing is QVC has a Sprouts program. Sprouts is basically for the small guy, the inventor. Throw them on a site, see if people like the product. That's an opportunity for you. You could possibly get there. They also have their own website, and a lot of it's their existing products, but they're always looking for new stuff, and they have buyers just like retail. There's so much to say except for imagine a moment in history where, like my client, he reaches out in a particular way. He goes in front of the QVC buyers for his particular category. They say, okay. He gets excited. He follows protocol. They actually take him to a school. QVC actually has a school before you go live teaching you about TV. You actually have to go to Florida. As of now, these things change. He goes to a school. They explain the process because TV is a very big deal. And they're spending a lot of money on you because they are excited about you and they're spending a lot of money on you because with TV, they're paying for every minute that you're on TV. They're paying for airtime. So if you're getting that far, you're super excited, then you go on TV, then you got like seconds to sell thousands and thousands of units on the spot. And finally, if it converts, they have a recording of you and ultimately put it up on TV in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden you get tons of orders and it's cool. And ultimately that leads to retail because you can put a nice little sticker on your box, which is as seen on TV, and or you can tell retailers, I'm that cool, that many people know about me, retailers will like you. Now, there's an argument that retail and QVC and everything don't get along. It's just that they don't want to compete with one another. They're all trying to make money. And there's workarounds around that. But ultimately, trust me, at the end of the day, if a retailer knows that millions of eyeballs were on your product, it means there's something there because the QVC buyer said yes to your product. So there's a lot of buzz going to happen, a lot of excitement going to happen. You can go into other countries. It's a whole other category. But be ready for it and have the stomach for it. It's really exciting. Anyways, I know there's so much more I can share, but I hope that helps you get started. If you want to learn how to approach, pitch, and sell to retail chains with your as seen on TV product, you can go to retailmba.com. Or we do have how to sell to HSN QVC program, and we will post the link soon below. Karen Waksman, Retail MBA. I hope this helped. We are a retail consultancy, a retail rep agency, and essentially everything I teach ultimately will lead back to retail because even if you don't go as seen on TV, you can still sell your product to stores afterwards. And ultimately, you're going to leverage that TV opportunity for retail generally. If you're that excitable about getting in front of that many people, it's a great opportunity. So that's where I'm here to help. Hope this helps. Thanks so much. Please like, subscribe, keep in touch. We appreciate you.